Hello, everybody. Thank you all for joining today's webinar. My name is Dylan Fisher. I'm with McCormick Systems. I'll be taking you through the presentation today. Today's topic is version 16. Really excited to take you all through the newest version of McCormick and show you some of the enhancements. The main focus of version 16 in regards to the enhancements were to make breakout prices easier in McCormick and faster. Certainly added a lot more options. Also, a big part of version 16 was to complete the integration with foundation construction accounting. Of course, McCormick is part of the foundation family, so I'm really excited to be able to show this now. Again, it's something that's been in the works for some time. We completed the first phase of the integration months ago, and then the hard part was getting the budget information to go across. So again, really excited to just show you what this is looking like. And I do want to mention that there is a chat or a question box in the GoToMeeting taskbar. Feel free to type in questions. This is audio only coming from the presenter, myself. So I won't be able to hear any of your questions. I won't be able to hear any of you. So if you do have questions, feel free to type them in. I'll do my best to address those. But let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to open up McCormick Pro. Again, I'm showing version 16. This is the latest and greatest here. And I'm going to go straight to the labels portion of the program. So step 2. So of course, this is after we've set up the job and name the job, type in details, and added drawings. By the way, details can go across with the integration. They're probably not quite as important as things like the material list and the budget. But if you did have that, if you did want job details to come across, that's something that can also happen. Okay, so step 2, labels. There's many reasons why we utilize labels, and this will change on a job-to-job basis. So of course, this is just an example here. Now, in the first column, each label represents a separate price. Within this one job folder, I might have a base bid, I might have 10 options, alternates, and so on. I can also come back and handle change orders. So that's a pretty unique McCormick capability, the ability to create and manage multiple prices, including change orders. In fact, in McCormick Pro, it's unlimited, all within this one job folder. So beyond the first column, these types of breakouts, these are the breakouts that I want for the job. And again, there's many reasons why. I broke the job down into areas here, buildings, and then each building has multiple levels. I broke each building down into these levels here. Each column is a subset of the previous. I broke the levels further down into systems here. And then I did sheet numbers as well. So essentially, later on, I want to be able to look at, building A by itself. I want to be able to look at lighting by itself. I could also look at just the lighting in building B, or just the lighting in floor 1, building C. So obviously these types of breakouts will help with bid management. If something changes in one of these areas, it's easier to address that change. Also, when it comes time to do the work, it's easier to manage a job with these types of breakouts. But also, I could provide a price on each one of these buildings, or each label set if necessary. So again, breakout pricing is that's especially on larger projects, they don't want just a lump sum price. They want to see a breakout price. How much for power versus lighting, or something along those lines. So we can also utilize labels for phase breakouts if that's something you're utilizing, if you need phase breakdowns. So I'm going to kind of use this third column here in 2 ways. I'm going to say I'm providing a price on each one of these areas, or floors, but I'm also going to call these my phases. So I'm just going to, this is optional, but I'm going to go ahead and rename the column phases. All right. Now this job already has takeoff on it. I'm going to go straight to takeoff, or I'm sorry, straight to extension. So step 4, of course, is a result. of everything we did in Takeoff. You know, it looks like there are people in the meeting today that may not be familiar with McCormick. Today, I'm not going to spend too much time with the estimating and takeoff side of the program. Of course, we've got a lot of good videos out there for that, and of course, give us a shout if you'd like a full online demonstration. We've got a really nice takeoff process, really nice on-screen takeoff capabilities, a lot of automated capabilities there. But here in the extension, this is again, this is a result of everything I did in Takeoff. By default, we spit out one big list of material. It's itemized down to the wire nuts, screws, and washers. This is every single piece of material I need for the job. Now, the labels that we just talked about in step 2 are tied to this report. So it's just a tab here to flip to the labels. Okay, so it's just a toggle switch between that material screen and the label screen. So by default, the first time you come here, all the labels are checked and all the columns are set to combined. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna say, well, I'm providing a price on each one of these areas or phases, or at the very least, I need phase breakdowns, whatever the case may be. I'm gonna hit separate here. So I'm gonna leave all of these checked and I'm switching to separate. Now when I flip back to the material list, instead of seeing one big list of material, I'm seeing a list of material for each one of those labels in the column that I hit separate on. So here's the first breakout. It's base bid underground. We can see the material cost, the hours associated with just that one section of the job. And of course, here's the material list. Here's the floor 1. And if I scroll down, we'll see floor 2 and so on. Now, we give you cost code breakouts automatically. Cost codes are built into the material. So within those levels that I separated, McCormick is giving me a cost code breakouts automatically. So pretty neat. I can see not only that I have 140 hours in the underground, but automatically McCormick tells me that 16 of those hours are in the feeder rough. Now, there's a lot of options here in terms of viewing the breakout reports. This button here will expand and collapse labels. So if I click on it, it condenses the material and just shows totals. Okay, so here's my total material cost, my total hours for each of those levels. Now, of course, this is the information that I need to send to the bid summary. Okay, because each one of these is representing a phase, and again, I'm using it in 2 ways. I'm also providing a price on each one of these label sets. We do give you these percentages automatically, which is nice. Total 23% of the material cost is sitting here. 35% of the hours are sitting here. You can drill down on one at a time, and address each one. In extension, we have the ability to make changes. We can make edits. So, you can drill down on specific sections here. And then again, I really like to show this detail. I could even look at like the cost code totals within the label totals. So, the bold gray line that represents one of the breakouts that I want, and again, it's showing the total, but now I'm also seeing cost code totals within the label set totals. So again, pretty handy. A lot of detail here just in McCormick itself. Now, not only does the phase information go across to Foundation, but cost code information goes across as well, and that's used for budgeting. And from what I understand, I'm on the McCormick estimating side. I don't know a whole lot about the accounting, but from what I understand, not everybody uses phases on the accounting side, but most if not all use cost codes. So we can do both. Now, I do want to mention that there is some setup beforehand in terms of getting the integration piece to work, and it's not difficult, but there's everybody has unique setups. So essentially there's like a mapping that happens, one-time mapping that happens to say things like this cost code in McCormick means this cost code in Foundation, things like that. So you set up these one-time map and kind of configure it. Yeah, it's and same with like the job cost categories. You know, you say this job cost in McCormick means this cost in Foundation. So they can match, you know, but they don't have to, because we can create that map. Now there is quite a bit more we could explore here in extension, and a lot of options have been added. But again, I'm going to stick to, you know, breakout pricing and the foundation integration. So from here, again, I'm pushing these totals to the bid summary to finish the job. Now, I do want to mention the old way to do it, you know, before version 16, is we could handle breakout pricing just fine, but it took a little bit longer. We had to, you know, for each one of these price breakdowns here, I would have to, you know, uncheck the label. I would have to just check one of these and then send that to the bid summary separately. And then I would have to create another extension for floor one. I'd send that to the bid summary separately, and same for the rest. Whereas now I'm sending these breakouts all at the same time. And not only that, once I get to the bid summary, I can interact with, you know, I can add costs like overall, I can spread cost overall. I can still address them individually as well if I want to. But all right, so we're just gonna hit the send to summary button here. And now we're pushing the, you know, the total material cost, the total hours for each of these breakouts to the bid summary. All right, so here's step 5. Looks a little bit different in version 16 versus previous versions. A lot of it is familiar and similar, but there's these all these drop downs up here at the top. Those weren't there before, because again, before we were dealing with, you know, we were just pushing over each one, and each one was like its own bid summary here. And so you would have like a list of summaries down at the bottom, but now it's at the top. So this is what I just sent over here. I sent the base bid, the material cost, and the hours. Now, right now, it's kind of the traditional way of viewing the bid summary in terms of, you know, it's showing the job cost categories here, and then here, of course, it's going to populate with the total amount. Now, if I'm dealing with breakout pricing, then I probably want to turn on, you know, and I called that column phases. Those are the area breakdowns I sent over. So if I check that box, you'll see it gives me these little plus signs here. So now if I open up material, it shows each one of those levels within that material category. And of course, it's showing the material cost for each one. And the same for all the rest of the job costs. Now, I haven't gone through the folders and addressed them yet, but I'm going to do that here in just a moment. There's another layer that can be turned on, and that's the breakout. So on top of the phase breakdowns, if I hit breakout, all that is, it's also going to show me the cost code breakdowns here in the bid summary as well. So now I can drill down even further. So this is the material cost for underground, and now here in the bid summary, you know, I'm seeing you know, the material cost by cost code within that, you know, within the phase, within the job cost. So quite a bit of detail here if you want it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this job up. I'm going to go to the labor tab, and I'm going to assign some labor rates to the labor hours. Now, I'm going to go ahead and choose the foreman rate, push him over, and the journeyman rate, and push him over. And why not? I'll choose another one. I'll choose the apprentice rate. So I'm picking from my list of rates on the left side, pushing them to the right, and now I can assign hours to each rate here, or percentage. Now, I am dealing with the total hours for the job. So this is total for everything. And so for the labor, that's how I want to distribute the labor rates. I'm going to use the same labor distribution across all of those you know, breakouts. So I'm just going to say, you know, 25% of the hours are going to go to the foreman rate, 50% of the hours to the journeyman rate, and then 25% to the apprentice rate. Now, in this folder here, you'll see I also have those plus signs. So if I can drill down to see, you know, how many hours and the labor cost for each of those breakouts. So again, McCormick spread it out for me because again, I sent them all over here and I have it on the phase grouping. So it spread that labor distribution across all of these breakouts for me. Now, sometimes you may want to address, you might want to add cost to individual breakdowns. So again, in that example, I just spread this across all summaries. So labor is addressed in all. But for example, like in the quotes folder, I've received a fixture quote. Now I could say, just total for the job, there's $30,000 in fixtures. Now, if I do it here, because again, right, that's the total fixture cost for the job, then it will automatically distribute that cost, spread it out between all of my breakouts. So sometimes you may not want that. I want to put a specific amount in floor 1 versus floor 2 versus floor 3 or so on. So if that's the case, then we're not going to use these multipliers here. So I'm going to say I want, let's say we're not going to put any dollars on the underground. We're going to put $10,000 on the floor 1. We're going to put 15,000 on the floor 2, and then the remaining balance of 5,000 here on floor 3. All right, so now I have full control. I'm saying I want this cost to go here and so on. So of course that's still going to give me the total of 30,000, but I'm deciding where that money goes. So again, we can do it either way. We can spread the cost for you based on a weighted average, or you can go in and assign a specific cost to different areas. Now I'll go ahead and go to the subcontractor expense folder, and again, in this case here, I have the same options. I can spread cost, between my breakouts, or just if I type in a quote here for core drilling, I'll just let the system spread it out for me. DJE, same thing. I'm just going to get some numbers in here. So let's put in some permits and fees. We'll allow it to spread those out for us. Gas. We all know we're paying big money at the pump these days. Equipment cost. Real quick too, this is something that was recently added. Was this? You'll notice that there's a pencil here that wasn't there before. What I've done here in my equipment folder is I've set up some rates. So this is set up as part of my template. Job to job, I can come here and say, all right, I'm going to need a crane, and it's going to cost me $2,500, and it could be that simple. But in this case, I as part of my template, I set up my rates for a lift. So the way I did it is I'm using the same supplier, so I put a supplier name in there, but I put in different rates: daily rate, weekly rate, monthly rate. So of course you guys could set up your template. These folders can look however you want them to look, and you can set up as many of these as you want. And so what's neat is I can say, I don't have to look up the rate, it's already in here, and I can choose between these different options. I'm going to choose the weekly rate, and now all I have to do is use this multiplier. I need that for 4 weeks, and I'm done with it. All right, let's go back to the top sheet. So the top sheet is showing me the job cost total by category. And then of course it totals everything up on the right. There's the raw cost, here's the tax amount, here's the raw cost plus tax. I haven't added any markups yet. The overhead and profit totals will show up here. Now, once again, this is total material cost for the job. I can drill down and view total material cost for each one of my breakdowns. So when I apply a markup, if I put a 10% markup here, I'm applying 10% markup, overhead markup to all of my breakouts. Okay, but if I open it up, I can then say, you know what, I want 8% here, 5% there, and so on. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and say 10%. Now, Another thing that we're going to ask if you type in a markup on the first cell here, we're going to ask, do you want to spread that same markup across all job cost? And I'm going to go ahead and hit yes in this case. I want 10% overhead on everything. So again, it's spread it across all of my job cost, but not only that, if I open each one of these up, it put that same markup on each one of my breakouts. Again, I can go through here and make changes to each one of them if I want to. We'll stick with the 10% for the overhead across the board. On the profit side, I want 12% profit on the material. And this time I'll hit no. I don't want to spread that. Just want that markup on the material. Now again, it's applying that to all of my breakouts. If maybe I want, you know, a little bit more markup here or there, you know, I can do that. But in this case, I'm just going to say, you know what, for labor, I want, you know, a little bit more profit. I want 15% profit there. Maybe I want 9% profit on the quotes and so on. So of course you have so much flexibility here to add, you know, the markups that you want. All right, so again, on the right are the totals. So all of these amounts are totaled up here, total overhead. Here's all the profit totaled up here. And then this is just the overhead and profit combined. We've got a price. We're not gonna use the bond, so that's our sell price right here. Now, there is I'll show you this really nice report that we generate for you from McCormick. So I'm just gonna hit the print and hit preview here. So this is a bid summary report that will show this grouping, that will show the breakouts. And so what it does is it generates a report showing me like all of the top sheet information for each one of those bid breakdowns. So, so this one here is the, oh, that's not the one we want. That one had a lot of pages to it. I don't want to show you that one. Let's see here. Let's turn the breakouts off. That's probably why it's giving me so much detail. All right. Just takes a second. All right, so these are the, again, these are the, what I'm calling phases. I'm also calling them my bid breakdowns. You know, again, I'm providing a price on each one of these. Now, this first page is just showing the extension data for each breakout, so material cost and labor hours. And then if we start to scroll through these pages here, it's gonna show me a bid summary report for each one of those. So this is top sheet information for underground. This is the labor distribution I used. These are the markups, tax report, and then of course it will show, you know, if I added quotes and equipment to any of these, it's showing all of that detail. Sell prices, markups, everything. So again, just in comparison to how we used to do it, I just put together, you know, my breakout prices very quickly, very efficiently. I was able to spread cost and address them individually when I needed to. And then we give you all this detail, spit out all this detail. So so very cool. Now from here, let's talk about the foundation integration. So if I'm awarded this project, I can come back here. Well, anyone who has access to McCormick can come back here and hit the foundation export button. All right, so this is the foundation export. The job details will automatically be queued up. And again, I said that those details can go across. That's coming from the job details screen. Now I'm most interested in the material list and in the budget information. So I'm gonna queue that up. And you're gonna see those populate here. So again, it's job details, material list, and the budget. And then I'm just gonna hit transfer here. And so what this does, it's just a push, and then it'll be a pull on the foundation side. It's pushing it to the cloud. So this is just going to be sitting on the cloud and waiting for somebody on the foundation side to pull it in. Okay, so these two are complete. We've just got the one more to go. All right, so that's the push is complete. I'm going to go ahead and open up the foundation program here. All right, so this is the job, the job screen in Foundation. I'm starting. I was awarded the project in McCormick. I pushed the information, and of course, it's all waiting for me. Now I'm starting. I'm going to go ahead and start a new job in Foundation. So I'm just going to number this job number 3025. We'll call it. We'll give it a description. McCormick bid. Okay, and then I'm going to hit this import from McCormick button. Now, this is going to show me a list of available imports. So I've got a lot of users pushing information my way, but of course we have job numbers and titles and dates here. So again, I can select the job details. That's just like this information here, which again I'm not getting that. I'm not going to get that from the job in McCormick, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to go ahead and go after the budget here. So we're going to select the budget from the list here, and we're just going to hit import. So this is just showing the mapping. So the cost code type, foundation class. So this is already set up. I'm going to go ahead and hit the import button. Okay, so the budget has been imported. I'll hit OK here, and then we can view that here in the budgets tab. So again, this is what I just sent over from the job that we were working on the McCormick side. I sent over phase breakdowns and cost code breakdowns. So this is the first one, phase 1 underground, and then the first cost class within that, or cost code, is feeder rough. So of course it's showing the details here. And of course here I can scroll through this. I want to see phase 2 floor 1. Here's branch rough, and I can scroll through these. Now, what's really neat, of course, is the amount of detail that like the budget list that's created off of this. So let's take a look at that. So I'm just going to hit OK here to save the job, and then let's go ahead and pull that job back up here. And let's look at the budget list. So here's here's the budget list created off of that job in McCormick after just a couple clicks to push it to the cloud and pull it into to Foundation. So quite a bit of detail here. Now, really just one more thing I'd like to show, and that's the material import. So I'm gonna go ahead and I have a shortcut for that here. I'm gonna click on the job material list shortcut, and I'm gonna pull up that, again, the same job, 325, and it's there's an import from McCormick button here as well. So we're just gonna pull that material list in here. And of course, so this is the complete material list from the job in McCormick. Of course, this would you would have the ability here to then start creating purchase orders off of this. I'm also told that some people have inventory module. If that's the case, then you do have to set up your Foundation part ID in the part in McCormick. So that would require a little bit extra setup. You'd have to, getting the material list to populate, that's, that's easy. Anybody can do that. But if you're tracking inventory, then you would have to go into the item, review the item in McCormick, and one time you'd have to copy and paste or type in your foundation specific ID code. But yeah, I mean, very seamless, very easy to work with. Again, not a whole lot of setup is required. Of course, that's something we can help you through. But that's my quick webinar for today. I haven't seen any questions pop up here, so I'm going to jump out of the meeting. There will be a recording, and that will be shared with all of the attendees and anyone who registered that couldn't make it. It'll also be published onto the YouTube channel. But thank you all again for joining me today. Please feel free to reach out anytime if there's questions, if there's more information we can provide. Again, if you don't have McCormick or Foundation, we'd love to provide you with a full online demonstration and take you through a more comprehensive demonstration and just show you what we can do. Again, my name is Dylan Fisher. Thank you all again for joining, and enjoy the rest of your day.